Have you ever wanted to run your own cult but didn't know where to start or where to get some gullible followers? No, but yeah, I'm still going to talk about it to you. Welcome back to Lalo Loves, where I'll be talking about something I love or I'm passionate about. It's pretty self-explanatory. Today I present you with Lolo Love's Cult of the Lamb, developed by Massive Monster and published by Devolver Digital, who have also released games like Hades and Enter the Gungeon, which are among the same genre as this game. Cult of the Lamb, released on August 22nd, 2023, is a roguelike game with aspects of a game like Animal Crossing, where you must work on your own town, or in this case your own cult and its followers, making sure your followers are well behaved, fed, working, and helping manage your home. Best way I can describe this game to you is like Animal Crossing and Doom mashed up together as a roguelike. You play as this unknown lamb who is about to be sacrificed to another cult. When at the very last moment you perish, we encounter the one who waits and offers us power and the chance to live for now if we do what he asks of us. He wants us to kill the 4 bishops of the old faith who banish the one who waits. Not only do we need to go out on a quest to slay these 4 false prophets, but while we are doing this, we need to start and maintain our own cult of followers to do our bidding for the greater cause for the one who waits. Your cult must have enough followers to open the path to the areas where you'll meet and kill each prophet, as well as to enter the one who waits domain at the end of the game. That's all I'll say about the story for now, but later I will talk about some spoilers, but I will give a heads up so y'all can avoid it. For the roguelike gameplay, you travel through 4 different biomes, or realms as I call them, entering areas, fighting the enemies to then be able to progress throughout the map until you reach a door where you'll be able to choose your path on how you'll make it to the boss of the realm. So you can enter through a path that'll give you double attack, but you also take double damage to your health when attacked. Or a path that leads you to find a new follower in need and you have to fight enemies, and as a reward you get a new subordinate for your ever-growing cult. And the list of possibilities goes on and on. When you first have access to a new realm, you fight followers of that false prophet before you get to face them. Each run you go against 1 follower boss, and so you need to kill 3 of them before you can go on your run to kill the false prophet in the area. Each run you go against 1 follower boss, and so you need to kill 3 of them before you can go on your run to kill the false prophet of that area. So each area basically has 4 bosses you need to defeat before you can progress. Once you complete 1 realm, you have to unlock one of the other 3 realms, eventually leading you to unlock all 4 realms and defeating all prophets in them. The way you unlock another realm is by meeting the requirements of having a minimal amount of cult followers that help unlock the doors for you. If you unlock them in order, each realm requires more followers than the one before. As for the village/town part of this game, you are entrusted by the one who waits to run the cult and help it grow. You gain followers by defeating bosses for the first time, and so they become followers as well. Certain paths through your runs have opportunities where you can save or recruit followers. And the last option is by the spider guy, who after you meet him for the first time, he stays nearby, and every couple of days you can save a member from him by paying him with your gold coins. In your village, you have a church where you hold daily sermons, crownings, and rituals. Sermons are just a way for the player to collect loyalty from all the followers, which then can be used to unlock certain abilities or types of weapons for the next time you go out and fight. Crownings is what I like to call it is where you can unlock permanent abilities for your lamb, different robes that give the player different stat changes, and where you can announce/unlock new rituals or traits for your cult. For example, one ritual you can unlock is the Back from the Dead ritual, which you can bring a fallen follower back from the dead, but you lose admiration from your cult for bringing people back to life. Most of these rituals will have their pros and cons to them, and the ritual tab is the option to actually commence your rituals you've unlocked. There's also the sin tab where you can use the sins you collect from your followers to help upgrade your church. When it comes to your followers, you must make sure they remain your followers, which means you have to make sure the bubble on the top left, which is the cult's loyalty, is filled at all times. If he starts to fall off due to you dying on a run or committing something the cult looks down on, you lose loyalty and risk your followers dissenting against you. Spreading word to the other followers, advising them to leave the cult and take some resources with them. You don't want this to happen because you need both the followers and your resources. You can handle it 2 ways, putting them in jail and re-educating them, or you can straight up just kill them and getting rid of the rebel entirely. Aside from keeping them loyalty, you also got to make sure they stay alive. Your followers risk getting sick, starving, or have lack of sleep, which can cause them all to have an early death. But if you make sure to maintain them, they'll live a long life, and you can give them a certain necklace that actually lets them live for twice as long. The more good you do for your followers, when you're on a run and need to sacrifice a follower to get back in the fight, the higher the level of sacrifices, the more health you can get from them. Another thing to keep in mind is when a follower dies from anything that's not from your run, their body just lies in your village and it's up to you to dispose of it, or else it's going to make your village health decrease, and it's to cause followers to throw up or get sick and then end up dying, basically. And as you progress, you do a lot of additions to your cult. You add beds for your followers, workstations, and even a farm where you can harvest your own crops to make all kinds of dishes for you and your members to eat. If you unlock a certain ability in the crowning section, you can actually make it so your lamb can eat food, which then varies on how much health or how much hearts you'll receive, depending on how high quality or high stars the food is. And the game isn't just restricted to village and runs. There's also other areas you can go and explore to buy or collect the enemies and charms for your game. One of my favorite is going to the hill where you can play this dice game that I'm pretty sure the developers had came up with. And it's just so fun. You can even gamble some of your gold to see how you do. And so when it comes to the story, once you defeat all 4 prophets, the plot is to then just go to the One Who Waits' realm, which his real name for the One Who Waits is actually Shamura. And so you enter the realm and he asks for you to give up everything because you've already done your job. And then the player has the choice to say yes or no. If you say yes, the game ends. Boom, you die. And then you go back to the checkpoint where you can decide another option. When you decide no and not to give up your power, you actually have the boss fight, which is the real ending. The boss fight against Shamura is probably one of the most fun fights, and I do have this one gripe with it. I swear when the game first came out and I first fought him, the boss fight was different and it was a lot more difficult, because on my second run, not only did I do it on the hardest difficulty, but it felt a lot shorter for some reason. I had like terrible weapons too. I didn't even get like a good roll. And yet the fight felt so like short and it felt so much easier to do. I'm not sure what happened. It was a while since I played when DLCs came out. I think I played once like the second DLC was already like set and done after a couple months. So it has been a while, but I haven't played it. I haven't touched the game, and so I have no idea how easily I was able to defeat the boss the second time after such a long span and increase in difficulty. But yeah, after you defeat Shamura, then the game goes to credits, because now you are the indefinite cult leader, and you can even recruit Shamura to your actual cult, and so now he becomes a follower. And it's really cool because these characters keep their dialogue and character with them. They don't just become mindless followers that say automatic dialogue. They actually do have their own specific dialogue, which I think is really great. It's a really nice feature. It's a really nice touch to it. This game on its own is something so beautiful that I just don't see it in much like AAA games anymore. This game still has new content to be added into this game, and the main story part, or I guess like the actual gameplay part of it, it's free. You get free story add-on. You don't have to pay for that. Once you pay for the game, you're set. Like, as long as the creators are still supporting the game, we're still going to get new content. We're still going to have more fun with this game. We're still going to have reasons to get on the game and crack a couple more hours on that game. There is DLC which you do have to pay, but it's not like actual in-game playing content. It's more just additional content that doesn't really change anything. More like just costumes and skins for your followers. It's cute and all, there's decorations and everything. It's just more of a way to support the creators, but it's nothing that benefits you in the actual game, nor does it make for any more story. The combat is super fun. I won't lie to you, I suck at a lot of roguelikes. I think the only roguelikes I've ever beat was Hades, and I guess this one too. But I think with this one, it's just a lot more fun, mainly because of the art style. I love the art style so much. Like, if a game does not appeal to me with its art style, first thing, I'm not playing it. Like, art style is something that I look at first, like very much first. And I mean, it should be for everyone, because you know, it's exactly what the game's gonna be for the whole time you're playing. Like, this is exactly what you're gonna be watching. The music is beautiful. It is a great soundtrack. I remember when the vinyls had come out, I wanted to order one. I was broke. I'll think about it now, but the vinyls, the deluxe edition for the Nintendo Switch, I was going to buy that one, but then I did not like the Nintendo Switch game anymore, because mainly for the fact that the Nintendo Switch just can't handle it. I will talk about the Nintendo Switch some other time, but the Nintendo Switch wasn't able to run the game as well as it used to. I remember the more I added on into my home world, or to my cult, the game just started kind of lagging more and more, which it's not that great. It's not that great, and it's such a terrible experience. The Nintendo Switch is the only way I do not recommend to play this game. The story is great, and it's simple. We've already talked about the ending, but it's great. You meet a lot of side characters, which then offer you abilities and enemies later on in the story, or when you go to their worlds, and it's fun. The combat is something that I really admire in this game, because it just has so much variety. You can pick up different types of weapons with different types of abilities. You can pick up curses, which are basically superpowers that use up this meter that you collect or recharge from killing enemies or looting chests. Then you also have relics, which also work as curses, but relics are more rare, as well as they usually have a recharge time or only a one-time use, instead of them being like something you can use with a meter as long as you have that meter filled. Call to Lamb is a letter to those people who would think that AAA games are the only games that will have great content, that will have a great community, that will have a great service. Because Call to Lamb, as small as the game as it is, it's been given awards for being such a great game, and it's just doing stuff that AAA games aren't doing nowadays, where you can just buy the game and expect to be repaid later on with more and more content to play, and you just don't have to pay for it. It's a one-time purchase, And instead, you can support the creators by buying their merchandise, by buying DLC that isn't required to enjoy the game. All in all, Call to Lamb is one of my favorite games. I love playing it. I love just hearing the music when I load up the game. The art style is fantastic, as I said already. I cannot express this enough. The art style is fantastic. It's cute. It's gory when it comes to it. I'm a big indie game guy. Like, I love my AAA games. I love my multiplayer games. But indie games just have a special place in my heart. They're so much nicer, especially when I'm playing on my handhelds. I love playing indie games on my handhelds. I did think of making the script for the second part of this video, which is just me talking about what I liked instead of just like, discussing the basics of the game. But the more I think about it, the more I don't really want to. It's not that I'm lazy. I'm a little bit lazy. But it's more just because I feel like when I speak it in real time, it just sounds more genuine and I don't have that robotic reading voice. It's just me speaking straight up and thinking of what I have to say at the moment. And if I don't say anything that I forget about later on, then oh well. But I like to point out the major things that come to my head when I'm talking about this kind of stuff. I do want to start streaming on Twitch, but I do have to make like an actual fan base first. Because ain't nobody streamed to on Twitch yet. But yeah, after the Streets of Rage video, I did have a lot of fun, and so I decided to make a Call to Lamb one. Feel free to let me know what games I should play, or anything, any kind of media, and I would love to talk about it. Also, by the time that this is released, I'm pretty sure maybe the new DLC has come out, which is just local co-op, and you play as a goat. And I am gonna play the hell out of it with my friends when that comes out. Just letting y'all know.